an handover management application that works on the basis of the monitoring of the information flow and the QoS constraint. How should this work? Once the handover is triggered, the application automatically informs the concerned satellite terminals and forward or return link transmission unit to change their frequencies if needed, first. Second, updates the forwarding rules in the gateways and backbone network. And finally, reroute the flows towards the new hub. The centralized control and signaling management makes the procedure transparent and viable. The authors of the paper that I mentioned to you, the number 12, experimented this in the lab, and the results were really favorable. The second use case related to the terrestrial satellite network integration is more in the state of the art, but very important from a technical and commercial viewpoint, because a lot of work in the past has been badly spent to use the satellite as a kind of patch of terrestrial coverage. So when the cellular coverage fails, switch to the satellite. But this philosophy is inefficient, because the switch should be seamless. But really, there is still a barrier between the Earth segments and the sky segments. The barrier is at higher layer level, because the routing, in order to perform efficiently the rerouting of information from the terrestrial link to the satellite link, the rerouting should be totally transparent with respect to the applications. So if I am working with an application, the information should managed by this application should be adaptively and transparently dispatched or through the terrestrial network or to the satellite network without any issue for the user. But unfortunately, this is not possible, because the forwarding rules of current networking protocols are static and do not take into account about the evolving link conditions. So the upgrade of the control plane made inside the network nodes and performed simultaneously over the different network nodes is very problematic. But if we have a centralized controller, this controller can upgrade the forwarding rules, and so issue the dispatching of the different flows. In the use case of 12, there is a case, the user case that is dealt is related to a hybrid satellite wired network based on ADSL. It's a bit old, this example maybe, but it can be easily extended to other kind of terrestrial networking, for instance 5G. In this example, in the example about the integration, the SDN controller is presented not only at the an SDN entity is present not only at the service provider level, but also at the customer premises. So the home gateway becomes an SDN enabled and operates under the supervision of the SDN controller hosted at the network operator. Nothing hinders this solution. Thanks to the network application working on top of the SDN controller at the service provider side, the data flow dispatching can be reconfigured both for the forward and the return link. For instance, in the application scenario devised by the authors of 12, there is a phone call with VoIP, for instance Skype, and so there is the low latency ADSL link can be reserved for the voice packets, while other packets can redirected to the satellite, so to balance the traffic load. This is feasible by means of the SDN control, because the SDN control allows to dynamically upgrade the rules, the forwarding rules on the basis of the traffic condition. The answer, the question to which the authors of 12 tried to answer was, are these scenarios viable with the tools provided by the OpenFlow forum? The answer is positive. No significant obstacle hinders the implementation of these scenarios with the OpenFlow tools, software tool. Indeed, data flow identification is enabled, full link monitoring is allowed as well. Rerouting information flows is not a significant problem. Indeed, if you want to implement this kind of emulation in lab, emulating also the condition of the satellite link and so on, the results are positive. The only feature that is a bit problematic is the dynamic generation and update of the forwarding rule. This may be the most critical one. So because substantially this involves the real-time reaction to the change in network condition. The authors of 12 says that at least in principle the feasibility is guaranteed. The paper was published in 2015. I asked to my colleague Fabrizio Granelli whether this feature is now more refined in OpenFlow, and he answered to me that now the dynamic generation update of forwarding rules is no longer an issue because the tools were improved. So, from these slides, we can understand that the softwarization of satellite links is possible. Softwarization and virtualization means that we provide flexible and software-managed infrastructures with reconfiguration capabilities both at physical and higher layer network levels in the sky, not only on the Earth. So,